Picture this. You walk into a coffee shop, and you're faced with 47 different drink combinations. Vanilla latte, caramel macchiato, oat milk cortado. You spend 5 minutes deciding, finally choose the vanilla latte, and somehow feel less satisfied than if there were only 3 options. This isn't just about coffee. This is about one of the most profound psychological tricks being played on your mind every single day. Welcome to the illusion of choice, where freedom is carefully crafted, options are strategically limited, and your decisions, well, they might not be as yours as you think. I'm about to take you on a journey through the hidden architecture of decision-making, where we'll uncover how corporations, governments, and even your own brain conspire to make you feel free while keeping you perfectly controlled. Let me tell you about Sarah, a marketing executive who discovered something that changed how she saw the world forever. In 2000, she was working on a campaign for a major retailer when she stumbled upon research that would become legendary in psychology circles. Professor Sheena Iyengar had set up a simple experiment at an upscale grocery store. On one day, she offered customers 24 varieties of jam to sample. On another day, just 6 varieties. Logic says more choice equals more sales, right? Wrong. When faced with 24 options, 60% of customers stopped to sample. But only 3% actually bought jam. With just 6 options, 40% stopped to sample. But here's the kicker. 30% made a purchase. 10 times more sales with fewer choices. Sarah realized something profound. We don't actually want infinite choice. We want the feeling of choice while being gently guided toward a decision. This discovery would reshape how she understood human behavior, and it's the first crack in the illusion we're about to shatter completely. But why does this happen? To understand the illusion of choice, we need to peek inside your brain. When you're faced with decisions, your prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO, goes into overdrive. It's analyzing, comparing, predicting outcomes. Here's what's fascinating. Neuroscientist Dr. Antonio Damasio discovered that people with damage to their emotional processing centers couldn't make simple decisions. They'd spend hours choosing between 2 breakfast cereals. Emotion, not logic, drives our choices. Smart marketers know this. They've learned to hack your dopamine system, the brain's reward pathway. Netflix doesn't give you infinite movies. They give you carefully curated rows that feel infinite. Each scroll triggers a tiny dopamine hit, making you feel like you're exploring vast possibilities while actually being funneled through predetermined paths. The illusion works because your brain mistakes the effort of choosing for actual freedom. The more mental energy you spend deciding, the more ownership you feel over the outcome, even when the real options were limited from the start. Let me share a story that will change how you see every store you enter. In 1995, Procter & Gamble faced a crisis. They had 26 different Head & Shoulders shampoo varieties, and sales were plummeting. Customers were overwhelmed, confused, paralyzed by choice. So they did something radical. They cut their product line to 15 varieties. Sales increased by 10%. But here's the genius part. They didn't just reduce options randomly. They used sophisticated psychological profiling to keep exactly the right mix that would make customers feel they had meaningful choice, while being subtly guided toward higher margin products. This strategy spread like wildfire. Walk into any supermarket today, and you'll see the illusion perfected. The cereal aisle appears to offer hundreds of choices, but look closer. It's really just variations of 5 basic formulas owned by 3 major companies, positioned to create the feeling of variety. Coca-Cola mastered this decades ago. They don't just sell Coke. They sell the choice between Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Cherry Coke. But notice what's missing? A truly different beverage experience. You're choosing between variations of the same product, feeling free while staying locked in their ecosystem. The most chilling example? Media consolidation. In 1983, 90% of American media was controlled by 50 companies. Today, 6 companies control 90% of what you see, hear, and read. You flip through hundreds of channels, scroll through thousands of articles, feeling like you're accessing diverse perspectives. But the puppet strings all lead back to the same handful of boardrooms. The illusion of choice reaches its most sophisticated form in politics. Let me tell you about James, a political scientist who spent years studying voter behavior. He discovered something that shook his faith in democracy itself. In most democratic systems, you're presented with what feels like meaningful choice. Different parties, different candidates, different ideologies. But James found that the real decisions, the ones that shape economic policy, foreign relations, corporate regulations, those happen in spaces where your vote never reaches. Take the American two-party system. Voters feel they're choosing between dramatically different futures, but both parties operate within the same fundamental economic framework. Both receive funding from similar corporate interests. Both avoid challenging the deepest structural inequalities. The genius is in the presentation. Hot-button social issues, abortion, gun rights, immigration. These create passionate tribal loyalty and the feeling of consequential choice. Meanwhile, the policies that most directly affect your daily life, healthcare costs, wage stagnation, environmental degradation, these remain remarkably consistent regardless of who's in power. Gerrymandering perfects this illusion. Politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians. You get to vote, you feel democratic, but the outcomes are predetermined by those who drew the maps. But the most insidious form of choice illusion happens in your pocket. Your smartphone feels like a portal to infinite possibility, but it's actually the most sophisticated choice manipulation device ever created. Social media algorithms don't show you everything. They show you what keeps you scrolling. You think you're choosing what to see, but you're really choosing from a pre-filtered menu designed to maximize engagement. Facebook's internal research revealed they could predict your behavior better than your closest friends, simply by analyzing your click patterns. Dating apps perfect this manipulation. Tinder gives you the illusion of endless romantic possibilities while using sophisticated algorithms to keep you swiping, never quite finding satisfaction. They've gamified human connection, turning love into a slot machine where the next swipe might be the one. Even your music feels chosen. Spotify's Discover Weekly feels personal, but it's actually herding you towards songs that fit profitable streaming patterns. You're not discovering music. You're being fed a carefully curated diet designed to keep you subscribed. Here's what Sarah discovered after years of studying choice architecture. The illusion isn't just about marketing or politics. It's about human nature itself. We're pattern-seeking creatures who desperately want to believe we're in control, even when evidence suggests otherwise. The most profound realization? Sometimes the illusion serves us. Complete freedom is paralyzing. Infinite choice leads to decision fatigue, regret, and anxiety. The frameworks that guide our choices, cultural norms, social expectations, even corporate manipulation, they provide structure in a chaotic world. But here's the twist. Once you see the illusion, you can't unsee it. You start noticing the invisible hand guiding your decisions everywhere. The restaurant menu designed to make you order the second most expensive wine. The charity that puts a $50 suggestion first to make $25 seem reasonable. The political candidate who positions themselves as the sensible middle between two extremes they helped create. So here's the question that will haunt you long after this story ends. If choice is largely an illusion, does it matter? Are you less free knowing that your decisions are influenced, guided, and sometimes predetermined? Or does awareness itself become a form of liberation? Sarah never found a satisfying answer. She left marketing, became a philosophy professor, and spent her remaining years studying the paradox of human agency. Her final paper, published posthumously, contained a single chilling sentence. The greatest choice we never realize we're making is whether to see the strings or pretend they're not there. Tonight, when you choose what to watch, what to eat, who to vote for, remember this. Someone, somewhere, designed that choice for you. They studied your psychology, mapped your desires, and crafted the perfect illusion of freedom. The question isn't whether you have free will. The question is, now that you know the game, will you keep playing by their rules, or will you find a way to write your own? Sweet dreams.